Grand Carnival parade routes have been extended longer due to the expected overwhelming participation. Plus, in today's lifestyle segment, the 3 things you could be doing wrong in the morning that impacts your whole day. And find out from young teenagers why they genuinely enjoy helping out at the Archaeology Museum. 15 on 15 starts right now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Yentl Lieuw. Due to an expected record-breaking number of participants in Carnival this year, you can expect to celebrate longer whether you are in the parade or on the sidelines. Routes for the Grand Parade in St. Nicholas and Oranjestad have been made longer. It has been officially announced that there will be changes to the final Grand Parades set to take place in Oranjestad and St. Nicholas. The reason for the adjustment is to better accommodate the expected overwhelming amount of spectators and participants for the final event of Aruba's 60th Diamond Jubilee celebration. It is anticipated that the entire parade will exceed the existing routes, judging from the response to the 55th anniversary carnival. This year, it is expected to be even longer. In Oranjestad, participants and floats will congregate on the Avenida Milio Cruz before entering the parade. Instead of ending at the Department of Public Works building and Valero station on the west end of Oranjestad, the official route will continue to the roundabout next to Wendy's Belgisstraat. For St. Nicholas, instead of beginning at the Joe Leveist ballpark, the parade will start at the Almar building on Pastoor Hendrikstraat. The St. Nicholas parade will end once all groups continue on to Cerro Preto. Now, although the 2 grand parades have been extended, this doesn't mean there will be more designated trailer spots. Trailer spots remains the same. Sections of the parade grounds will not include the extended areas on L.G. Smith Boulevard past the Valero station nor the Cerro Preto Road. The St. Nicholas Grand Parade is scheduled for March 1st, 2014, and the Oranjestad Grand Parade for the next day. Both parades are expected to start at 11 a.m. In other local news, the government is planning on building a multifunctional building in Nord. These designs drafted up are for the multi-purpose building to be built in Nord. The space is designed to be used as a sub-civil registry office providing censo services. Once they close, the building will be turned into a study space for students. Now, that is just one of the many examples of the different functions that this new building will have in Nord. Batiko Day is coming up. One hotel and casino has found a universal game to bring both locals and tourists together to celebrate the patriotic Aruban holiday under one roof. Bingo is a popular game for the young and old, no matter what nationality you are. Reason being why Trop Club and Casino have chosen to host a Batiko Day bingo event to bring the tourists and locals together to celebrate.
On Saturday the 25th, which is our Batiko Day, it's a national holiday for Aruba, we have our special bingo, which is over 5,500 prizes in cash prizes in the bingo. We have a special bingo. Normally you can win up to $1,500 in prizes, but up this day you can win up to $3,200 in what is a cash prize for the bingo. We have different special things going on. We have raffles, we have criollo snack typical from Aruba. We have the caja de orca, which is an instrument typical from Aruba. We have dancers, we have different stuff that's going on that Saturday.
Before, during, and after bingo, locals and tourists can expect to be surrounded by local flavor, sounds, and traditions.
Bingo is always popular in any place you go, any casino, any place in the world, and a lot of tourists and a lot of Arubans guys to come together to bingo, so we decided to do a special day of bingo. We always want to show the heritage of Aruba, and we always want to educate the tourists who come to us and see us Aruba, and we want to show us a good time how Aruba does it.
After bingo, there will be Plinko. Trop Club and Casino is preparing their players for a full day of activities on Batiko Day. They are taking the opportunity to show their guests their celebratory flair.
It's important to always bring the heritage of Aruba, and after all, we are in Aruba, and as a company, we have to show Aruba's love. So we all love Aruba, and we want to show the tourists also a good time how the Arubians does do it in the party or have fun on their day of Dia Bitico is it's a national big national holiday. So we have a special bingo where we want to bring all the tourists and also all the locals together and have a nice day with us at Tropical Casino.
The Bitico Day Bingo celebration will start at 3 p.m. with local food and music at Trop Club and Casino. Numbers will be called starting at 4 p.m. Afterwards, players will be selected to try their luck on the Plinko machine. We'll be right back with more. Stay with us. Welcome back from the break. There are 3 morning habits that can wreck your day. So to start off every morning on the right foot, take a look. It is possible to drink coffee too early. Energy levels rise naturally when you first wake up, so drinking coffee too early causes an extra energy surge that can leave you jittery. The best time to drink coffee is an hour after you wake up. That is when your energy levels begin to plummet, so coffee keeps them up well into the afternoon. And too small of a breakfast is another no-no. If you eat too little, it can set you up to binge in the afternoon. Also, checking your email is one nasty habit you should break ASAP. Checking your inbox the moment you opened your eyes in the morning can set you up for stress all day. Instead of worrying about work first thing, focus on starting your morning off with an activity that actually calms you. For instance, exercising, sip on some tea, or have a nice chat with your significant other. And switching gears, if you have a funny bone in your body, well, it may also mean you are a bit psychotic. Comedians have high levels of psychotic traits. Some comedians may use performance as a form of self-medication. Comedians have personality types linked with psychosis, like many other creative types, which might explain why they can entertain. They score highly on characteristics that in extreme cases are associated with mental illness. Comedians are said to have high levels of both introversion as well extroversion. That's interesting. Here's a question for you. What do you think is the rudest thing you can do on a date? No, it's not being on your smartphone or going on and on and on about your ex. It is actually taking a smoke break. Here's the story. Match.com took a survey, and the results determined that 51% of singles said that taking a smoke break on a first date was a real deal breaker. It is even worse than being late or constantly checking your phone. The survey asked more than 1,000 smokers and non-smokers. 57% of those surveyed said they would never date a smoker, and 60% fellow smokers had reservations about dating someone else with the habit. So since first dates are all about making a good impression, it's probably a good idea to keep your pack of cigarettes at home as well as your light. We'll be right back. Take a look to see what is coming up next. The Archaeology Museum of Aruba is taking the opportunity to acknowledge and recognize their volunteers and youth brigades on Bitico Day. The staff at the museum is comprised of a small team, so they most definitely appreciate the work the volunteers provide. But according to the youths, the pleasure is all theirs. Josh and Hannah are volunteers at the Archaeology Museum. They genuinely enjoy being part of the team and says every moment is a learning experience.
Well, I really enjoy it because you learn a lot. You learn a lot about your culture, and you learn a lot about the history of your culture, and you feel more close to your culture. And I think that's very important. It's a very important thing to be able to know about your culture, and you'll learn more with others. Like not learn at school, but also learn, seeing things and learning things, and to appreciate your culture some more, because there's not many youth out there that are really seeing Aruba as it is.
You get to learn new stuff, you get to interact with new people, with tourists and all that. See little children and learn more about the culture that we have. It's so cute.
Since the volunteers find the time they spent at the museum educational and amusing, Margarita Waver says perhaps more youths and children wants to try it out as well. The Archaeology Museum is dedicating Batiko Day to the volunteers in hopes of recruiting more helpers.
This year on the Batiko Day, the museum not only opens its exhibit halls for everybody to see between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., but we're also focusing on our hardcore group of volunteers. We have some volunteers that for several years have helped the museum with many activities, brainstorming sessions, have developed temporary exhibits, etc.
Throughout the years, the young teenagers have been able to make memories at the museum. They have been involved with many projects, exhibits, and they have been able to interact with guests, such as locals, as well as tourists.
I've been volunteering now for a year and a half, and one of the first great experiences we had here is that we had to take theater classes to be able to open up this project called Buki Brick, and it was really, really fun. And after that, we also had to learn the history about the ship, to be able to tell, to be used as tours, be tours to the tourists. And to me, those were two great highlights.
For me, it's actually fun because you get to learn more stuff, and they want to learn more about Aruba too. There's some that came from Hawaii here. I've met them, I talked to them, they posted me on Facebook. I'm very interacting though. But actually, for me, people who want to know, they can know. If you want to know how Aruba is, you can come here and visit. You don't have an obligation. You can just come to see how we used to live.
Josh says having the opportunity to volunteer at the museum gives them the chance to experience a different dimension when it comes to learning.
At school, it's really theory, books, but here you actually get to see things, and by seeing things, you're more interested to know the history of the objects and the stories that revolve around the objects.
The Archaeology Museum will be opened on Saturday, January 25th for Batiko Day. The volunteers and youth brigades will be there from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. to answer any of your questions that you may have about helping out at the museum. If you would like to be part of the team, you can call 582-8979. That is our show for today. Thanks for watching. We'll be back here with a brand new edition of the show starting Friday night at 7:15 p.m. right here on Channel 15 ATV. So we'll see you then.